Hey, Terry Bain here with another fun episode of Business Growth Time, where today we're going to be talking about creating media for business growth. I'm excited. We've got Matt Peet here to talk about it. But with me, as always, is Janet E. Johnson, where today the E stands for Everlong, which is one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs.
Oh,
Yeah,
isn't that a battery too or something?
well, that's
Everlast.
Everlast.
Oh, Everlast. Okay.
Which was one of my favorite. What was that skinny white guy's name? Oh, it was Everlast. That was him, right? Remember the rapper Everlast?
No.
What it's like? 1998. Come on, nothing.
You're aging yourself.
So,
Sorry.
Dude, I am old and getting older. So I like it though. I'm not getting better, just older. But whatever. Why don't you introduce Ernie to our friend Matt Peet?
All right. Yes, Matt Peet. Well, I'm going to give you the background of how I know him too, but I'm going to read his professional background. He is a professional videographer who has had the opportunity to travel all over the country creating videos for entrepreneurs to help them promote and grow their business, which is so important. He also shoots dozens of weddings each year for couples, as well as adding in professional photography as a service with his wife, heading up that expansion to their brand. Matt also runs a podcast called Finding Creative Success, and I was on that podcast. That's one of the reasons I met him, where he interviews industry leaders to find out what helps them grow their photo and video business, so he can help others reach their big goals by creating a thriving business. So welcome, Matt Peet, sorry.
Yeah,
I just messed up because I looked at your name. There's a thing where we're visual.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk today about professionalism and simplifying it, but really being professional about your videos and photos and your branding.
Yes.
Crap. I got to go. I don't know anything about any of this. Or maybe I should stay and learn all about it.
He needs to listen. Very closely.
I'll be very quiet.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely something I'm passionate about. So I really hope you decide to stay around.
Awesome.
Well, tell us, how'd you get into this industry in the first place?
I started out in high school, actually. I was taking a journalism class my senior year of high school, and just through a course of events, I became like the go-to editor just because I wanted good grades. So I refused to make bad videos. And it kind of snowballed from there. Went into college for graphic design, studied graphic design and photography in college. And then I had an internship with a videographer, had a couple of mentors in videography. So kind of led me into the wedding industry, shooting a lot of weddings here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's a pretty hot wedding spot. And then from there, just my love for entrepreneurism, I started reaching out to entrepreneurs to make videos for them. So now we kind of get to travel all over shooting those kind of videos, California, Mexico, just all over the place, Chicago, shooting these awesome videos for awesome entrepreneurs. We're still doing weddings. That's kind of our bread and butter, but we pride ourselves on making the best content, putting out the best stuff possible out there, because that reflects us. I'm sure y'all know your web presence. That's like the front door to your business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you've moved into the onto that world just because you started meeting people, and then you realized that they needed professional videos too, in addition to the weddings.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, do you do photos too? Is it photos, all their branding, or just more of the videos?
Currently, it's just been videos. We'll go to conferences and shoot all of their, their highlight videos and all that kind of stuff. And primarily been there. We're adding in photography right now. Like you said in my bio, we're adding that in. I don't want to stretch myself too thin because I do have the podcast. I am doing the video, all of the branding for everything. So my wife has actually been studying for about the past 6 or 7 months with a photographer and working on her editing style or shooting style. She second shoots for this show all the time. So she is going to be heading that up. So that way, it's more of a dedicated person rather than me trying to add something else onto my plate.
Very cool. So are you excited about the idea of working with your wife? And is she equally excited, or is one of you like, hey, that's enough of you?
Well, she's been shooting weddings with me for probably about 1.5 years, 2 years now.
Okay.
So she knows the camera really well. She knows how weddings operate. I remember the first taste, like she had just started shooting with me, and I reached out to John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire, and we went to Texas and shot a video of him. He was keynote speaker that year. So we shot this whole video for him, and I remember sitting up in the room, and it was kind of like after a day of shooting, and we're just kind of like looking out over all the lights, we're like 14th story or something like that. And she's like, so you get to do this for a living? And like just travel around, shoot videos, hang out in cool hotel rooms, and it kind of like gave her that shift where like she realized that she wanted to do it too.
Nice.
So ever since then, she's been really driven to making it as successful, as possible, because she wants to have that lifestyle of, making your own hours. You sit home during the day and edit, and you network when you can. Then you get to travel to awesome places and make really cool videos. So.
Very, very cool. I love that idea. I drive my wife nuts. So as much as I like the idea of her working with me, she dislikes the idea of working with me. So I wish you too well. And did you and Jeff work together?
That we could do a whole show on that alone. So we have worked on his business together, but apart. Like I take on certain, but we have to be apart. Even our office should be shared, but he's upstairs instead. So yeah,
that's kind of like how we are. I mean, I work up in the office a lot, and she'll go downstairs and work in the living room, or we'll switch her. Like the only time we're really working together is when we're shooting events.
Okay.
Other than that, she's in her own world editing. I'm in my own world editing. Both usually have headphones in or something, just like keep it separate a little bit there.
Yeah. You got to have a little bit of, it's kind of, that's interesting. Like I said, we could have a whole show about that.
Yeah.
And maybe we will.
I don't know if it'd be a good thing.
Part 2.
So let's get into some tips for people.
Yes.
Because this is me thinking about, I've done my own videos. We have set up that in my basement, where I have a screen and I have the lighting. I tend to do more right here in this setup where I have a window in front of me, and it's real basic. I just have this behind me, and it's so simple. I turn on my desktop. I prefer that. It's just quicker, easier. And it's still good quality because I have a mic and because I have a, external camera on my desktop. So when I think of video though, I get very overwhelmed. I get not just this basic stuff, but with the, carrying. That's why I've always said to people, I market videos, but I do not create them for you.
Yeah.
It is something that it goes deep. So how can people not be overwhelmed and still get that quality of video that they want?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest tip whenever somebody asks me, if I had to hammer it down into one thing, I always tell people to simplify things. If you don't know how to make videos, the solution isn't to go out and become a videographer. That's the hardest possible way to do it. You can always hire somebody, but then it gets into the thousands of dollars. If you're starting a business, you don't necessarily have $3,000 to drop on one video. So I like to be able to help people where they're at and share that advice. So I mean, if you have a business that isn't media centric and you want to create a video, I would say the best thing to do, if you don't want to spend, hundreds or thousands of dollars on camera gear, I would suggest using your phone. I mean, it's pretty basic. I think everybody knew I was going there, but it's so simple. And the biggest thing when shooting video for me, you have the camera, your phone can shoot 4K video now, so you should be fine with the quality, but it's all about stabilization and audio. So, I have this little thing in my hand right here. It's a phone clip, and they have a Gorilla Pod. It's called a Gorilla Pod, and you can mold it to fit anything, and it just holds your phone in the air. You can set on anything. You don't even need an expensive tripod. Getting stuff like that. Yeah, getting stuff like that to hold the phone, just keep it steady. Unless you're doing like a Facebook Live walkthrough, if like you're a band or something, you want to show like a Facebook Live of that. If you're trying to make a professional video, it should be stable. So any movement shots be as stable as you can be. And then for editing, there's apps there's a Premiere Pro app for your phone. So if you have Creative Cloud, which, you know, a lot of people do, even if you're not a creative. You know, as a podcaster, I have it because it gives me a good audio editor. But they have apps for your phone that allow you to edit video. So you can legitimately shoot and edit an entire professional looking video on your phone now. And I mean, yeah, that's what I would suggest. Like I said, keep it as simple as possible. Have good lighting. Like you said, set up in front of a window so the lighting is good. You don't necessarily need to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on lights. Just make sure you have enough good light so that the shadows look good. You know, want that nice soft diffuse light. Like right now in Charleston, it's a nice overcast day. That's the perfect light to shoot in because it's going to be diffused. So set up in front of a window with your iPhone on a tripod. And the best way to get good audio without buying an external audio recorder, like you said, having a professional mic lying around the house, like everybody just does nowadays, you know. If your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever has another iPhone, take it, set it to voice record and stick it in your pocket. And that'll give you a good audio source right there. So, you know, if you're a guy and you have a shirt pocket, stick it there. If not, set it right outside of the frame. So you have.
So you're saying a second phone?
Yeah, if you use a second phone for your audio, that way you can match it up later in your editor.
Do you lay both tracks together then?
Yeah, you just lay them on top of each other.
That sounds complicated.
So you're using a bunch of words I don't understand.
So
editing,
and that's
right? Those all freak me out.
All right.
I got recorded by somebody who actually brought gear and lights on Monday. Yep. It was kind of fun. And when he mic'd me, he gave me 2 labs, right? And so I had A and B channel. So based on what you just said with the second phone, is that creating the same kind of effect? So it's going to make it a little richer sound?
Yeah, because like with your phone, you know, if you have it set up on a tripod and it's 5 feet away from you, the sound quality is not going to be that amazing. But if you have a phone that's right there beside you, beside whoever's talking on screen, the audio from that phone is going to be a lot better.
Just because of the proximity of it.
Yeah, just because of the proximity. It's like me speaking in this microphone. I'm right here, it's going to sound really good. But if I back way over here, it's going to sound really shallow.
Just so those of you who aren't watching,
yes,
he backed up. I know you couldn't tell. Wow, man, that's what a great example that was, though, because you could totally hear the difference. Nice.
Yes, I mean, doing that, you know, they make microphones that, you know, you can get converters and plug them into your iPhone, like $30 for a lavalier mic, and then they have like a 20-foot cable. You know, I'll have to send you all a link to that or something. That way you can share it. But like, even that, you know, $30, plug it into your phone. It's going to give you a lot better audio. Because I tell people all the time, if you have a good video but bad audio, you have a bad video.
So is it easier to do video if you're pretty like Janet or easier if you're ugly like me? How does that work?
It matters.
Yeah, creating a good video doesn't, I mean, as long as you do well shooting, like, yeah, if you're pretty, it's like I tell people all the time, like us shooting weddings, the couple's at their best. Like, it's easy to shoot weddings because the couple is like trimmed and shaved, with beards are cut and hair's all done up and makeup. Like, it's easy to make a pretty video out of a pretty person. So, I mean, but you know, if
Here's
you have
my problem,
but you can still make interesting videos. I mean, another tool that I know, Janet, you told me about on my podcast was Lumiere.
Yeah.
To create simple videos out of even pictures. And I've been playing around with that, and
it's fun. It's just yeah.
Yes, I mean, there's that, and I just discovered. Have y'all ever tried Adobe Spark?
Yep. It's very similar to Animoto, but we discuss Square Video in Animoto, so that's why I pay for the Animoto.
Okay.
Adobe Spark's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I
love that. It's very simple.
I just discovered that like 3 days ago.
Okay.
You're like Christopher Columbus. That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, though. Yeah.
How easy it is to use. It goes in mobile.
It's free.
Yeah, I mean, it's free. I mean, I compared it to Canva. I don't know if you've ever used that. For designing, like I said, it's for me, it's not just about video. Video is a large part of having good content. But, you know, it comes back to the graphics you use, the photography you use. So, I mean, things like Canva makes it super easy to design. Adobe Spark, you know, you can change the layout in one click, and it's just amazing. That's the kind of tools, like, you know, I've said before, like if you're trying to get started with design or video or whatever, and you want to do it professionally, like diving into those professional apps like Photoshop or Illustrator or After Effects, that's just a black hole of possibility. Like you get sucked into it, 2.5 days later, you have something that looks really bad and wasted a lot of time. So, like if you're not a professional, don't try it. But you can use, if you can use apps like Canva and Adobe Spark and create something amazing in 7 minutes, and have that to show off, it's going to make your brand look stronger and more professional in the end. And you save 2.5 days of working on something that looked bad.
Well, that's the thing. They, need to stay focused on what you're good at versus trying to do all these things to make your brand look great at an affordable. Obviously, we'd love to hire you, but like you said, that's not always affordable for everybody. So doing the do-it-yourself things that can really take you to the next level looks-wise and branding-wise, but yet very simply, and don't spend a lot of time on things that I'm a big believer in that, and not spending a lot of time on things that just aren't your cup of tea. That's not your area.
I mean, when I was in college, like I said, I went to school for graphic design and I took a class on website development. So in my head, I was going to learn how to create a website and I was going to code my entire website from scratch. And I did twice. And it was really bad twice. And I wasted so much time coding this website. And then I found out, discovered WordPress for the first time. And it changed my life. Half a day later, I had a site up and it looked 10,000 times better than my freshly coded site had ever looked. So, I mean, like you said, it's finding what your niche is, finding what that is, hammering down on that, and then the rest of the stuff, trying to create systems to make it as quick and easy as possible.
Yeah, I think that's important, right? So often we get deluged by the idea of it's got to be perfect, and we spend way too much time trying to create perfection. But if I look at the three of us in this screen right now, how I define perfect is different than how Janet defines perfect and how Matt defines perfect. So whose perfection are we trying to create anyway, right? Yeah. So just ship, like Seth Godin said, right? It's better to get something out at 92% in 7 minutes than 2.5 days to try and go for your 100%. So
exactly.
I think that's important stuff, man. Good.
And I was listening to, back to just trying to simplify things. I know I'm still thinking about creating videos, even using your phone. It's a lot to think about, but I remember listening to Tony Robbins one time. I believe it was on Entrepreneur on Fire, and he was talking about how he goes by the word simplify, and that's where I kind of adopted it from, and I try to go by that now. But he said, whenever you're looking at a problem or you're looking at a design or a scenario, whatever it is, try to apply the method of simplification to it and think, what can I take away from this to make it stronger instead of what can I add to it?
Mm-hmm. That's such a great point.
Yeah, so many people, they see something, whether, for me as a graphic designer, when I heard that, it was really strong because I'm always looking at my designs and being like, it's not quite there yet. What else can I add to it? What else can I do to make this better? When in actuality, I probably could have taken a lot away and it looked really good.
I took the dancing Jesus off of my website and it just got so much better. The flaming toaster was gone, and
John's a crazy one.
As soon as I got rid of those things, it was just better instantly.
Now I have a question regarding video because I do a lot with video. I do the Lumiere, the Animoto, all those different things. And then there's times where I feel like, okay, I need to step it up. When would you say would be the timing to distinguish it, or go to the next level where you really maybe want to hire somebody like yourself and go to the next level? I mean, is it the sales page for something that you're promoting or launching? Is it, what would you say the basics could be, and then maybe where you would want to spend?
I mean, I think about Gary Vaynerchuk whenever you talk about it. It's like, for me, Gary Vaynerchuk talks about how he started with, a little flip camera, recording his daily
we were just talking about the flip. Jared and I both have a flip camera.
Yes, I mean, it goes back to that. Like, he started out with that, and he tells people, okay, you don't have the money to have somebody follow you around with a camera all day. Use what you have. And then when you have the money and you have more followers because you've been working hard at it, then upgrade, maybe hire somebody or get a better camera. I tell people the way I upgrade my gear is I buy something, I use it so much that I recognize its weaknesses, and then I'll go and upgrade once I realize I can take advantage of another strength. So, I mean, there's no reason, if you're starting out with a video, there's no reason to go out and buy a $25,000 cinema camera, because you're not going to know what 98% of the buttons and features on that camera do. So,
you know the red one, and that's the one that matters.
Exactly. So, I mean, start off with a cheaper camera. Start off with your phone. You know how to press record. And then from there, you're going to learn what frame rates are and what they do, because your phone can change that. You know, you can adjust that kind of stuff. You're going to learn how the exposure adjusts. You know, you're going to learn about composition. But once you realize the phone's shortcomings, and you know that, you know, what you're trying to create, you need a different device for. You know, you realize where it's weak, then upgrade. You know, don't try to go out and just start off at the top of the line, because I tell people, you know, a camera for me, you know, if you're shooting a wedding, is going to be different from a photographer who's in a studio, because the photographer in the studio is controlling their lighting 100% of the time. They know what their lighting is. For me, my lighting is going to change throughout the day. So, I mean, by the time the reception comes, it's dark. So I need a camera that can perform really well in low light.
Mm-hmm.
The portrait photographer might not need that. They might need a decent camera, but really awesome lenses to take advantage of the light they have. So, I mean, it kind of varies as to what you're shooting. So use what you have, and then realize where you need to go. You save a lot of money that way.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
And so do you think the production quality is more important, or the content is more important when it comes to small businesses starting out?
Content all the way. I mean, I'm a big believer in that. Like I said, I watched a video with Grant Cardone and Ty Lopez, and they were talking about this exact subject. And they were asking, Ty Lopez is like, oh, you have to have good production quality. You know, want all the good lighting. You want somebody following you at the camera. And Grant Cardone's like, no, content, just push it out. You know, if you have something to say, then put it out there. And, you know, there's something to say about both of those. You don't want to put out bad quality video. You know, you don't want a video shaking and all that. So, I mean, there's a balance.
Yeah.
But if you not having the production quality is going to stop you from putting out your awesome content, then that's going to hurt you more in the long run than putting out a worse lit video, a poorly lit video with awesome content. It's better to have something than nothing. So, I mean,
my Tourette's keeps messing up all my videos because I shake and random swearing.
But I mean, if you have good content in those shaky videos, then you're going to get followers. You're going to get people who resonate with you. But if you're thinking, oh, well, my video has to be perfect, which is one of my, you know, it holds me back a lot, because as a videographer, I want it to look perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, it's hard for me to create a video of me looking, it's difficult. So it holds me back a lot. But, you know, I have to tell myself, you know, it has to get done. Done is better than perfect, and we'll move on from there. But I have to have something out there. I have to have content going out.
Done is better than perfect. I want to name the show that. That's absolutely true. Because otherwise, if it's perfect and it's sitting on your computer and nobody sees it, who cares how perfect it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Well, and then the live, you know, that whole live thing has come where it's all about authenticity too. You can make mistakes, and, you know, you're live. It's even better, you know, because you know that you can make the mistakes and people are with you there because it's live.
Exactly. It's, you know, I talked to somebody the other day, and we're kind of in an age now where it's almost, you know, have posts that polished, perfect look. You know, a few years ago, you made it big because you had a ton of money and you could afford to hire people to come in and make awesome videos of you and just look perfect. And now we're in this age where everything is doing live, you know, Facebook, Instagram, I believe LinkedIn now has live, like, so everything is live. And like you said, it brings that authenticity to it. Like, nobody, you know, there's famous people out there all the time who don't have like perfectly polished live videos. It's just them hanging out, and their followers want to get to know them better, so they join in on the live. So it's like this post-polished era that we're entering into, and it's more of an authentic era with media. So adding that in there, like I said, content is always king, but if you can have an opportunity to increase the production quality, then go for it.
Does that help your business or hurt your business when we're talking about the division between Facebook Live, where more people are conscious of the idea of creating video and the importance of it, but it's the immediacy of it and you can do it yourself, versus having that quality production. And so have you noticed a tick up or a tick down as a result?
We kind of got ahead of the curve a little bit on that because in our business, we have what's called a same day edit. So,
Wow.
for conferences and weddings, we shoot their video, edit it. We take a projector and a screen and we show it at their reception or, at the end of the event or whatever it is. So, I mean, we are pretty as immediate as the production can be. So, I mean, it hasn't really affected us that much, but I mean, we shot for a bride not too long ago and she emailed me, she's like, oh, I wish we had got you to stay, for the after party until 2 a.m. because there was some fun stuff, but would you mind adding shots from our cell phone into the highlight video? And it's like, there is that immediacy and, we've lost clients, we've lost weddings because they decided to just get their uncle with a camera to go shoot it, and save money. So, I mean, the bar is a lot lower for entry now, but I mean, it hasn't really affected us too much. We try to add some of that in there, doing Facebook Lives while we're showing those highlights at the reception. So, I mean, it kind of adds a little bit more to it. I think it's just about moving with the times, taking those changes and finding out how you can change your business and your workflow to work in with that and take advantage of it rather than just feel the effects of it.
Same day edit. I mean, it must be like the same people that work inside the little red box, the movies.
You put
the movies on the fly. You must have that same magic going on. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a little extra stress starting out, but it's so much fun. So, I mean, we really enjoy that.
That's cool. Very nice, man. Awesome. Very nice.
But yeah, I mean, I like I said, for me, it all comes back down to simplifying everything. If you can create a system for it, like for my podcast, Finding Creative Success, every episode I have, I use the guest headshot for the thing. I have a Canva project file set up. I literally open that project file, change the title, and drop their headshot in. And I'm done. I don't have to spend 35 minutes creating the cover art for the post for them. So, I mean, systematizing this, especially if it's not, if you're not a media company, like I said, you want to systematize all of these. Like you said, Janet, having that space set aside where you shoot videos, so that way, if you have that ability to do that, it makes it so much faster to get in there, turn your phone on and just start recording.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Because if you, when you have to, I have it set up, but I have to take it up and down. So here in my office, it's move the, desktop over and boom, I got the lighting already from the window and off I go. But if I want to do actually I have to literally set up all the lights because my son ran a workout gym and took over my area. So. It happens when you work at home.
Multi-purpose.
But, I think about that. I go, oh, really? I got to set up the whole thing. I got to get lights. Forget it. I'll just hop on my, and
exactly.
It's it's a mind block too,
Oh yeah, it really is. For me, it's like, oh, well, I got to clean the kitchen, so I can't do it. It's like anything to get around having to do it. And I mean, they said the best camera is the camera that you have. So, I mean, if you're going to sit there and shoot the video in front of your computer at your desk instead of not doing it somewhere else, it's better to sit at your desk and do it because you're getting it done.
Done. Better than perfection.
There's the car guy. He used to drive, but now you stopped driving finally because I think, that's not good.
You know how much shit I got for driving and videoing? Like I can't sit there and drive and hold this like this. Like it's so challenging. Oh my God, pay attention to the road. I'm like, I am paying attention to the road, which is why I'm not staring at the camera like this. You can tell when I'm not paying attention to the road. You're watching me. But I don't do that anymore.
But you still do videos in the car, but you're sitting.
It's crazy. I think best in the car and in the shower. And you're
not going to be doing the bell. Please no.
Right. Nobody wants to see any of that. So I don't. But the car seems to work for me. I like to do it like right there. I'm looking at my deck, and I like to sit on the deck and shoot video, and I do that from time to time. But I don't, I was joking about not understanding lighting, but I really don't know how to leverage it properly. I'm looking outside. It's gray and overcast right now, and you said earlier, Matt, that it was gray and overcast where you are, and that's the perfect diffusion of light. And okay. And now I'm like compelled to run out there and shoot some video, man. I'm like, kind of excited whether I do.
Oh yeah, when you're in our industry, the photography, videography, if you see like a perfect blue sky with the sun shining, it's like, oh man, this is gonna suck because it makes all the shadows really hard and harsh and everything. But you have some clouds in the sky diffusing that sunlight. It makes all the shadows, really diffuse, really soft, and really just it makes everything look pretty. So I mean, if it's overcast, that's the best time to do it. So
I'm gonna keep that in mind. Overcast makes me look pretty.
Yep.
So learned like 3 things today.
That's good. Awesome. Well, now we'd love to give our audience an action step. I can't speak today. And we called them Ernie because it starts with E. So our audience is Ernie, just FYI. That's why he started with Ernie. So if you could give an action step to Ernie, something simple to take action with their videos.
Something simple I would say just like Nike, just do it. Getting in front of the camera is the scariest part about shooting videos. So the best way to get over that fear is to do it often. So, don't worry about production. Yeah, don't
just do it often. I like it.
Yeah, don't worry about production quality. Don't worry about making sure your lighting's good, and just get in front of the camera and get comfortable in front of the camera.
Do you think it's better that they start by going live and so they have no recourse whatsoever and just throw it out there? Or should they record the video, watch it, then decide whether they want to post it?
I'm a big fan of just jumping all in and going live because you can sit there and record it and be like, it's not good, and record it again, it's not good. When you're live, there is none of that. You're just out there doing it. You've started. That's how I started my podcast. I messaged one of the biggest guys in our industry. Hey, do you want to be on a podcast? 4 days later, I had to have everything ready to go. So, jumping in there, doing it live, it's like you said, I think for me, that's the best way to do it because there is no taking that back. Have something you want to talk about, have a topic you want to talk about picked out, and then just jump in and do it. And like I said, the more you do that, the more comfortable you're going to get with it, and the better your videos are going to get.
Do you script or no?
I'll get a rough outline about what I want to talk about, but I was listening to one of y'all's episodes earlier about blogging and about blogging on what so that way you're not spending hours and hours researching and trying to do that to create something. Talk about on live something pick out topic, and it's easy to do because it. You can just kind of keep going and then ask for feedback. Get people to comment and ask questions, and it kind of fuels your fire that you're going into this live video. But just pick a topic and roll with it. Just get out there and start doing it.
I spend so much time scripting my stuff out, man. It's editing and scripting. Really, just your proofreading. Oh my gosh, it's great. I got most of that out with a straight face. I was very proud of myself.
Oh, that's good. No, that's a great tip. Now, Matt, where can they find you? Where's the best places to learn more about your services and your podcast, of course?
I have 2 websites. repeatvideos.com will take you to our video production site, and findingcreativesuccess.com will take you to my podcast. That way, for most people, I'd tell them finding creative success because the video business, it's mostly weddings. So it's a lot of brides over there, that kind of stuff. So if you're a bride looking for a videographer, let me know. We travel. We're going to California next year to shoot a wedding. So, we're all over the place. But for most people, it's finding creative success. I interview people like you, Janet, social media experts, a lot of photographers, videographers, and it's really about finding out what helps their business grow. And on that page, there's links to my social media. So you can go over and follow me on Instagram, that kind of stuff.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt. And for the rest of Ernie, you can also find businessgrowthtime.com/blog is where all of our past episodes are. I believe this will be show number 95. So we are getting up there. And we also have a group on Facebook and you can just find that at businessgrowthtime.xyz or search it within Facebook. So that's where you can find us. Any last words, Terry?
This is good stuff, right? And we've talked about video a lot in the last year and a half because it's flipping important. So if you're not making videos, get them done. Don't worry about the production or the perfection. Love that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah, thank y'all. Appreciate it.